welcome to Sword and Crescent. This is my third developer log, and I just wanted to go over some of the stuff that we're covering today. All right, so uh, I have not yet made the move to version 14 of Foundry. I'm playing with it a little bit on my computer. Basically, I'm figuring out how the whole levels thing works so that I can start using that as soon as I'm ready. I haven't moved to version 14 yet because I'm running an actual play campaign for Pathfinder, and not all the modules have been brought up to speed for 14. And if I upgrade, I lose a lot of stuff on that. Plus, my players don't have the greatest record of dealing with Foundry changes, and this next one's going to be a big one with the whole um, cones and visibility and the drawing measurement tools and stuff being changed. Um, that's what will affect them. The levels won't affect them necessarily unless I screw up. Anyway, that being said, let us head to what I've been working on. All right, so one place in particular, I've talked about it a little bit, is Dusseldorf. And we're going to view the scene. Okay, so this is what I got so far. And with version 14 of Foundry, these will all have roofs over them and be leveled out because that's one of the things I'm kind of eyeing. Uh, I'm also playing with the idea of adding some basements to a couple of these houses or these facilities. Uh, but yeah, we'll figure that out. I'll think about it. But here's what I've got so far. Okay, so I started out by lettering all of the residential areas, including um, all of these are A, and we'll take you to what those are. Under journal entry, chapter 1, the Dussel hovels. So these are all basically like super duper slum, shabbily built shacks. And then some of these are a little bit better. And then one of the things I wanted to show you guys is that if you mouse over these, they disappear, which is a feature for Foundry I really like because I can make these visible or not visible to the players. So like, oh, I gotta go in the foreground, duh. See, and then it's a little translucent, and then when I mouse over it, it disappears as well, so I can zoom in. All right, so I've actually added people and specific notes on. Obviously, I've not added everybody, but I'm adding like the core NPCs of Dusseldorf are being added in. And then I'm going to bring something onto the page real quick. I'm working on the actual area write-up, and I'll show you guys that real quick. Um, so like area 1, the shack, and this is what I've got written so far. And then I've got, at the very least, I've got like who owns what building and whatnot. And then I'm going through here, about 3 pages in. I'm detailing what each of the areas are, and then I'll be adding any like I'll call them adventure notes, things that might draw people in. And of course, these little buildings here, pretty obvious. I didn't label those. I thought they were a little obvious. Right. Anyway, so uh, I don't know if I've mentioned it. I think I have. Um, that I'm working on. These are uh, game master entries that we're looking at. And then I have the Codex of the Dusselfolk, which is going to be people, places, and things, basically, what the players learn. So, like, the GM, you read this entry and it's got stat blocks and traps and how much loot is where and all that crap. And so there'll be a GM journal entry, and then there'll also be a player journal entry based off of what they've learned. I think I mentioned that last time around, but I really am working on that. Uh, And then once Dussel is done, I will then take you to the overland map. I always do this. I'm so used to like single left click to get the thing to open, and that's actually a mod that did that, but I don't use the mod anymore. So I'm just getting reused to uh, what doesn't work sometimes. All right, so I know I've brought this up before. This is a really big map with a lot of empty space, and part of that is I figure whoever else runs this campaign, you can really have fun in some of these places that aren't really well put together, so to speak. But Dussel is right here, and I know there's a bridge here, but I just needed something to remind me. I'm actually going to delete that bridge because why not? I can't do it on this, duh. I have to do that on Dungeon Draft. Yeah, Dussel's over here, so you can go to Noose, which is the nearest quote unquote major town. There's also these ruins to explore. Um, and then basically each one of these hexes is like explorable. You can get into shenanigans. You can, the GM can basically make any adventure. And the idea is the numbered places are going to be important potentially to anything that happens in Act One, and then beyond that, when they leave this region, I should really put a fucking label on this, make it all look like an actual map. Anyway, but when they leave this region, they'll be going to other regional maps like this. Um, and I'm gonna call up the ugly world map. I really got to replace this. I'm working on designing an actual uh, Wonder Draft map to replace this. But this is basically where they're at. They're going to travel down to here, which is Constantinople. And this is like all of Act 1. Then this is Act 2. And then the actual war to get to Jerusalem is Act 3. Um, but like Act 2 is going to end at Constantinople, which is probably going to be the biggest city that anybody's character has seen. But yeah, Act Two will basically have like regional points for them to get through, and they could just legitimately ignore everything and just haul ass to Constantinople. I just hope they have enough food to get there, right? But yeah, there'll be all these little adventure points for Act Two. That's what I was trying to say. What I was trying to get to. Um, but yeah, the thing I really worked on was the Dusseldorf map. Um, I don't even have it as a city because it's not a city. It's just this collection, and this is quite possibly too much for what was there historically. But oh yeah, I did want to show you guys this. I did add a graveyard. So I've got a graveyard. Uh, I've got a caretaker. He's not even a mortician. We've got an herbs woman here. Herb garden, chicken coops. I'm gonna have to like have like little chickens in here as tokens, kind of wandering around. I think that'd be kind of fun for Foundry anyway. Um, yeah, this is what we've got. Everything's labeled. Everything that's of importance is labeled, uh, except for a couple of maybe a secret layer that isn't quite labeled yet. Har har. Anyway, other than that, I am going to wrap up what I've written about this, and I'm going to actually take this map as a VTT and as a PNG, and I'm going to upload it onto Patreon for Dice at the Table Patreon. If you're a supporter, and I think the second tier and above, you can get access to this map if you want. It won't be coded for like um, just Rollmasters. You can use this map for just about anything. And then yeah, I'll have the key up as well. my first thing I'm gonna do is put the map out, and then when I actually have Dusseldorf written as a setting within the confines of the Rollmaster Unified Rule Set, I will actually put that out as well. But that will be uh, codified for Rollmaster, and that'll be kind of a supporter bonus. That's my kind of a planned thing. Alrighty, I will see you guys in the next devlog. This is Dave, Tactical Onion guy. Just giving you the update, and I'll hopefully have another one soon. Thank you very much for watching.